Good evening. Good evening. My name is D.Moss. You are now tuned into One on One Live with D.Moss. Tonight we have a very special guest. We have Salonia Jordan Lewis. She is the president of SJL HR Consulting. She has 20 years of HR experience working with the following industries: manufacturing, insurance, hospitals, nonprofits, and knowing her a whole lot more. She's phenomenal. I appreciate her, respect her. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk with Miss Jordan Lewis. Talk to us, tell everybody who you are and what it is you do.
Hey, D.Moss, thanks so much for having me. Well, this whole idea of having a HR consulting business started about
Her.
15 years ago. I have friends and family that work at nonprofits that didn't have a full-time HR person. So I became their HR person, of course, free of charge. And over the years, they said, you know what? You really need to go into your own business and be your own HR consulting instead of working for someone else. And that was 15 years ago, and I wasn't ready. You hear something, you know how you have to watch a commercial about 5,000 times, and the next day you want whatever you saw in the commercial? Well, that was me. So here we are
Absolutely.
15 years later. COVID hits, and everyone had to pivot everything. And so, if not now, when?
Absolutely. So congratulations on starting SJL HR Consulting. So SJL, obviously, Salonia Jordan Lewis,
Yeah.
HR, Human Resources. Why is this important? I mean, why is it so significant for, especially for small business owners and micro business owners?
Well, when you own a small business, and my husband has owned his own small business, you're really focusing on sales, sales and repeat customers, your product line. So you have your top priorities of things that you need to do when you're owning your own business. Having someone kind of look at the health of your organization to prevent you for being in court in front of a Judge Judy, that's not
Yep,
your top of your priorities. As
exactly.
well as taking care of, as you know, taking care of the people that make you successful. So HR is not necessarily, human resources is not something that a new business owner or a small business owner really considers as valuable right up front when they're doing their business. But over time, it's like a hole in a bag where you're leaking money and you don't even realize it because there's certain things that you're doing or not doing that is preventing you from growing your business.
Got you. So I'm a small business owner. I'm so focused on whatever product it is that I create, whatever artistic talent I have, or whatever service I'm trying to sell. So when we talk about HR, we talking about hiring, terminations, discipline, documentation. I mean, all that process, administrative stuff. I mean, I'll be honest, been working since I was about 13, almost 60, and I have no idea what it is you guys do. So
Right.
I publish a newspaper now. So tell me, how could you be a benefit to a small business owner like me, like myself?
That's a great question. So one of the things I like to, find out is more about your business. Knowing that you are running a paper business, I like to find out what's your vision and goal. If your goal is to grow your business three times the size, right? Three times the
Yep,
size in the
absolutely.
next, let's say, 6 to 9 months. How are you going to do that? I don't know if you've got drivers. Do you have writers? So you might have to hire contractors or an employee. There's a difference between the two, totally
Right.
different. And financially, there's a ramifications on how you hire people. So someone like yourself, if your goal, I like to listen to what it is your vision and mission, and how could I be of service to you. I'm not trying to sell you a kitchen sink if you don't need a kitchen sink. I want to look at what your short-term goals are and what your long-term goals are, and let's develop a plan as to what do you need right now, because you might be leaking that like that sack with that hole in it, money, and not even realize it. But understanding, if you're trying to grow your business by people and that's your most important asset, then we need to develop a plan on how do you do that. And it's not just by, what a lot of people do is just hang a shingle out, throw a job description on Indeed and hope for the best. It's a little bit more than that, as far as where you're marketing, what is your vision for your company, how do you treat your employees, how do you in this pandemic keep people safe. I'm so tired of hearing employers saying that, people don't want to work because they're getting this extra money in unemployment. And those that understand that's been on unemployment, it's bigger than that. This extra 300, yes, it helps, but it's not something that's sustainable. So
Right.
they want to make
Absolutely.
sure they're going in a place that they're valued, they're respected. I'm working in a safe environment. You're going to make sure you keep it safe. You have protocol of, how are you going to keep them safe? And you're not just using your words, you're showing them by the materials that you give them, if you're offering them PPE. So a lot goes into just a matter of adding to your staff, making sure they feel like you are the boss that they want to be. People don't
Right.
necessarily leave the job because the job is horrible, but if you as a owner, manager, president, boss, confidant is a ogre, I don't want to stay there.
Right.
So it's bigger than that. So as a small business owner, that's what I would start with someone like you that looks at growing your business is, let's start with, how do you attract that talent out there?
Right. Got you. So, I mean, there's always a lot of conversation, particularly in the Black community, where people are constantly saying, we need to start our own businesses. Let's recreate Black Wall Street. But it's not that easy
Yes.
because
Nope.
there's the fiscal infrastructure that needs to be tight. There needs to be determining, what it is your skill sets are. And then it gets to you. It's like the part that every small business owner forgets. There has to be a personnel or HR department. Somebody has to be responsible for the hiring, firing. We
Right.
have this new digital age, which means, are there social media policies? Can someone put something on Facebook during the course of the work hour that can actually put your business in jeopardy? There's just so many different aspects that we don't look at that we really need to. How you fire somebody. I'm
Right.
assuming that there's a process
Right.
for all of
Absolutely.
this. Just because you're the boss doesn't mean you can just come in and say, okay, yeah, you got a job. Don't worry about it. Show
Absolutely.
up on Monday. Tuesday, you're fired. And if they go to MCAD or anything else, you're gonna have problems. Am I wrong, or where am I? Oh,
You're
are we still there?
110% correct. And then the other piece, I've been counseling with different. You started tuning out again.
Oh no, I can still hear you.
You can still hear me? Okay. You
Yep.
are absolutely right on that, as to making sure, a little bit earlier, the paperwork are involved in it. And everyone is frightened of that. That's important, don't get me wrong. And we can get there in terms of what paperwork is needed, as far as what does your application look like? What are you offering them? And as I shared before, as to, is this person going to, or are they going to be employed? There's a difference between the two, in terms of taxes being withdrawal, workers' comp, especially if you hired someone to drive your papers from here to Jersey and they get into an accident, responsible for that. You. If he's an employee, if he's a contractor, maybe not. Depends.
Right.
What was promised to them when you offered them the job? So all these success, or the reputation of your company. So it's very important that we look at all those avenues to make sure that you're running a
Okay.
effective and
So when a
efficient business.
company contacts you and says, I would love to utilize your services, like, what is that process? What does it look like in terms of me coming and saying, I'd like to acquire your services? How would I approach you? How would you suggest I ask? What should I come prepared to talk, to discuss? Let's talk about
I
that.
would first start off with
Uh-oh. Is that me?
okay, there's a
Hello?
little bit of lag. I would find out specifically, what are you looking to do in the next 6 months?
How would you suggest I ask?
Is
What
that
should I
lag
come?
from me or you?
I think that's both of us. I'm trying to watch it on the screen as we do it so I can see where we're at with this. But if you can hear me, yeah, just finish talking about the process for the viewers. I'm going to figure out what's going on while you talk. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Was that lag for me or you?
Salonia? I
Okay.
think,
So what I would to me use my services, I would find out what is your short-term goal and what's your long-term goal, and we would work out.
yeah, I think your internet is freezing up.
What that looked like. After we talk about what does that look like? What do you hope to gain for that? So I would like to always find out specifically and what are some of your long-term plans. That's what I would start off with meeting a new business
Okay.
owner.
We're having some problems. Your internet is going in and out. I caught a lot of it, but I want to make sure people are really, really, really clear and make sure that they get everything. Can you hear me now, Salonia? All right, right now we're on with Salonia Jordan Lewis. She is the president of SJL HR Consulting. If you are a small business owner, a micro business owner, or if you work for a major
Uh-oh.
corporation or a major business that is in need of HR services, you'd probably want to contact Salonia and find out how she can assist your place of business to enhance their level of professionalism, their interactions with their personnel, make sure that their human resource policies are up to par and up to date. So all these little things that we kind of just overlook. If you're going to run a small business, you're going to need someone like this on your team to ensure that everything is done as professionally as possible. So let's see if we can get that. I think she's frozen right now, and we're going to try and get her back on. Later on the show, we're going to be on with Yusuf Ali, who will also be on talking about the Bitcoin Classic. And we'll be talking about that and talking about everything that he does, and it'll be an info session. So hopefully we'll get Salonia back on to continue this conversation. My name is D.Moss. You're on One-on-One Live with D.Moss. And every Thursday evening, we talk with professionals from our community who articulate what it is that they do for a living, talk about their background and how they can share and be a benefit to our community. It's one of those critical aspects, something that we don't typically do all the time. So again, we're waiting for Miss Jordan Lewis to come back on. And again, she is the president of SJL HR Consulting. Her consulting business was founded in February of 2021 with a vision of supporting small businesses and nonprofits that do not have a full-time human resource person. They are more than happy to help you in terms of customizing your ideas and plans for your business in order to attract, train, and retain your workforce. So again, they're here to listen and hear you. They want to know what keeps you up at night as it pertains to HR concerns. She's looking forward to working with small business owners. Doesn't matter, black, white, yellow, brown, red, doesn't matter. She's looking to work with your small business. Every small business needs an HR person. And I see that she's logging on right now, so I'm just going to keep talking. If you have a business, if you have something that you would like to promote and you'd like to come on a Thursday evening at 7:30, just email me, dmosslive, DMOSSLIVE at gmail.com. And we will set that up and make sure that, we can do this for you. So let's see now. We're trying to get her back on the screen. It looks like she might be frozen. Not quite sure, but we're having a conversation with Salonia Jordan Lewis. And you know what? These things happen. Oftentimes we deal with technical difficulties as we're trying to go about our business and informing the general public. So let's see what happens, and let's see if we can get her back on at some point. Here we go. Let's try it again. Nope, we can't seem to get her on. So if you'd like more information on Salonia Jordan Lewis, you can contact her at 413-575-7140. Her Instagram is at SJL HR Consulting. You can reach them there, or you can reach her via email, SJLEHR Consulting at gmail.com. Again, SJLEHR Consulting at gmail.com, or you can call her 413-575-7140. If you are a small business owner, we implore you to give SJL HR Consulting a call. We'll try and get her back on a later date. And let's see, it's 8:10 p.m. in the great city of Springfield. We'll be back on again at 8:30, and this time we'll be on with Yusuf Ali, who'll be talking about the Bitcoin Classic. And yeah, tell somebody to tell somebody. We'll be right back with you.